Hey everyone, welcome back to the Offset series where I talk about the acting business and everything that you need to know around the acting business that you don't really learn in drama school or theater college. Thanks again for joining me, and today I want to talk about the similarities between the corporate world and the entertainment world. The common denominator between both is that they're both businesses. They're talking about heavy amounts of financial investments that are made to achieve a certain objective. In corporate, it's probably generating more revenue or return on investments for our stakeholders. In the entertainment business, it's the exact same thing. The process of making a movie itself is a financial instrument, just like the finance world. If you look under the hood of what filmmaking is, it is a financial investment. It costs money to make films. There are people that invest hard-earned money to make a movie in returns of doubling or tripling or just experiencing some sort of return on their investment. And that is why at the end of the day, the art of filmmaking is still a business. So with that understanding, how can you prepare yourself to dive into this world of filmmaking and be the professional that you have to be to open doors for yourself? And how can you put your best foot forward to be the best candidate for a certain film or a certain project? What do you have to do to be a reliable talent which production want to work with you and productions want to continue bringing you back for more projects? I want to say I've been very successful in the repeat business where I would work with one production team on one project and then they would call me back for another project. And a perfect example is I worked on the movie Misfits with Pierce Brosnan and Nick Cannon. I had a great relationship with the producers, so we built a friendship and a bond, and they were able to bring me back on another movie which is called North of the 10. I had a great experience with that one. Terrence J was in it. My good friend Don Benjamin was in it as well. So it's a repeat business. The same thing happened with a movie called On Our Way. The producer was Julio Velasquez. I had a great relationship with him. He brought me back for another movie called Dope Queens, in which they also gave me a bigger role than I had in the previous movie. So once again, that repeat business is something that you need to keep an eye on. You need to remember that when you're on set, there are people watching. Shareholders and stakeholders of that project are watching you, and they will remember how you made them feel. Did you make their life a living hell, or was it a pleasant and a charm to work with? Because at the end of the day, it is a business. Movies are another form of financial instruments to generate wealth and returns on investment. So when the producers and the production team sees that, oh, this actor is actually very easy to work with, easy to get along, he's able to follow directions, he's going to make our life easier in completing this project, let's bring him on board. It also helps to make sure that you also have the talent. Go back to my other videos to watch about how to build your talent in the acting game, how to get your representation on point. Go watch my older videos on how to build up your talent in the acting game and how to set yourself up to become a talented actor, a working actor. But once you set up that foundation of you becoming an actor, this is where this stuff comes into play. The whole relationship management with producers, the whole how do you carry yourself on a production set? Do you have the right etiquette? Are you behaving as a professional? All right. With that said, clarifying that the process of movie making is a business. Movies itself is a financial instrument. It should be treated like a business. It should be treated like a multi-million-dollar project. I want to talk about how my experience in the business world allow me to excel in the entertainment world. Here's why. I used to work as a management consultant for Deloitte, one of the top consulting firms in the world. And I used to engage in cybersecurity projects. I'm talking multi-million-dollar projects for Fortune 500 companies. I started off as a security consultant, as a senior consultant, and worked my way up and got promoted to manager. During that process, I would be staffed on multi-million-dollar projects. And the reason I say that is because in the consulting industry, they don't sell products. We, the humans, the consultants, the brains, we are the product. So when a big company is going through, for example, a transformation project, they hire consultants like us to go in and lead and facilitate that transformation process. And those transformation projects cost so much, we're talking between $250 to $1,000 an hour for these consultants. So you can imagine if you have such a global, big transformation project, you can imagine what those consulting fees are going to look like. And that's why I say these are multi-million-dollar projects. Now, the reason I bring this up is because in the consulting industry, if you want to get on good projects, if you want to be able to get promoted, you need to have that reputation that you are a strong, high performer consultant. And what that means is not only do you have to know your material, not only do you have to have that knowledge, but are you a good team player? Do you know how to behave in front of clients? Are you able to manage the relationship with the client? So when they put you on a multi-million-dollar project and you're working with a client, do you show up on time? Do you finish your work on time? Do you attend meetings well prepared? Are you able to communicate to the client the problems, the resolutions? Are you able to strategically think ahead and be ahead of the problems that will come up? These are things that as an actor, if you're able to bring this to a movie set, oh my God, this is the value that you're going to bring to the producers that not a lot of actors are going to be aware of. Typical example is your call time is at 6 a.m., show up at 5:30. You have a scene that you need to prepare for that's going to be shooting in the afternoon. If you know that you're going to finish one scene in this outfit, you have to just make sure that there is a plan for you to get into wardrobe, for you to get into that makeup chair, for you to build in that time to learn your lines for the next scene coming up. Just thinking in advance before somebody tells you what you have to do. That is another way of showing that you are prepared and you'll understand what the game is. In consulting, the way I got promoted is I would do the manager's job. Before the manager asks me to do something, it's either already done or it's in the process of being done. And that is how you become a reliable performer, reliable talent to have on your project/film. So we're talking about concepts on how to be professional. Another example is in a meeting. When senior leadership are talking, you need to know your place. You need to know when it's okay for you to chime in and give your opinion and when you need to sit down and shut up. The reason I say this is because during a movie set, when the cinematographer and the director are talking to each other, trying to figure out the shot for the scene or whatnot, you as an actor, it is not your role to give your opinion, especially when you're not asked. You need to keep those opinions to yourself, because if you speak up when you're not supposed to, now you're just annoying the director. Now there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Now it's like, who the fuck is this? Who brought this guy over here? Where are you? So another interesting correlation between the business world and the filmmaking business is the ability to communicate and understand different personality types. Look, when you're a consultant and then you're working with different clients, you are going to meet and work with people with different personalities, and it is up to you to understand how to approach conversations with different types of people. There are people who are experts in their field that the last thing you want to do is go and challenge them. I've seen this with a lot of developers. When we're talking about developers and programmers, they're very, very smart people, and you would be an idiot to try and go and talk to them and question them and challenge them on their code. With people like that, you need to acknowledge their subject matter expertise, and you need to construct the conversation in a way that it shows that you acknowledge them, you know where they stand, and you do need their help. So it's very important to put egos aside and understand with these different personality types, what's the best way to approach the conversation. In the filmmaking business, oh my God, there are a lot of artists who are exceptional in the work that they do. And it's important for you to be able to know how to have these conversations with them, because if we're talking about filmmaking, at the end of the day, it is the story that matters. It is the production that matters. It's bigger than you and it's bigger than your colleagues. And because of that, it's always important to understand the different personality types and know how to engage in these conversations, because filmmaking is a collaborative effort. There needs to be a transfer of information and knowledge. And in order for that to happen, it's important to facilitate those conversations accordingly based on the people in the room. A lot of people sometimes don't pay attention to this. And naturally, if they have one personality type and they're engaging with somebody whose personality type clashes with that person, if they don't know how to tweak it, the information is not going to be shared, and it's going to stall the entire project, and that's how drama is created. If you have that knowledge of facilitating conversations and you're very skilled in your ability to communicate, you're going to be able to avoid a lot of conflict, which typically happens on set. But it's always have to have somebody who's able to navigate that. And trust me, once again, when producers see that, when directors see that, they're going to acknowledge it. They're going to see that not only is this person a talented actor, but he knows the business. He understands how to get things done. He knows, he puts his ego aside, and he knows it's all about the project. that's another reason for them to cast you in their project. That's another reason for them to bring you back on another project. I mean, look, apart from being business savvy, when it comes to being on set, you gotta understand, at the end of the day, this is a crew of people that are working with each other 12, 4, 15, 16 hours a day for a span of a month or two, or who knows how long. So it's important that you're easygoing, that you're likable, that you make their lives easier, that you're not gonna create problems, that you're not gonna have a big ego. It doesn't matter what role you play in that film, whether it's a grip or your wardrobe, your sound. At the end of the day, if you're a pain in the ass to work with, word's gonna get out and you're not gonna get any more business and you're gonna get kicked out the industry. I remember seeing a video of one of my favorite movie stars, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm obsessed with Van Damme. I've been a big fan since I was a little kid. He was one of the influences that made me want to become an actor. He played a big part in me deciding that I wanted to be an actor when I grow up. I saw a video of him floating around when he was very upset that they're not bringing him back for Bloodsport 2. And when I dug into it and I read some more, I realized the production said no to him because he had a drinking problem. And as I look back, I remember after doing the movie Time Cop, his movies started to go downhill because he started, he's doing a lot of drugs apparently, and he had an alcohol problem, and his personal life wasn't stable enough. And the production didn't want to take a gamble on him. So now you have one of the biggest movie stars in the world that they said no to. Because like I said, it's an investment, and these producers want to make sure that their investment pays out. And if you're a risk, you're not going to be on that list to be cast. It broke my heart, but it reaffirms the lesson. They're watching. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort, and it's important for everybody to get along and avoid the drama and avoid the gossip. It's important to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. And especially, look, as an actor, sometimes because you may be the face of a certain project, you have that responsibility to set the tone. And this is something that I did learn in corporate. Leadership is the ones that set the tone. Management is the one that sets the tone. Everybody leads by example. So the way you carry and hold yourself, the rest of the team is gonna follow. So in the filmmaking business, if you find yourself on the top billed cast, people are gonna be watching how you move, how you behave, and then they're gonna be replicating that. You're gonna be setting the tone. If you do something that's effed up and people get away, and you get away with it, people watching are gonna be like, oh, if he's doing it, I can do that too. Then that's how you're gonna corrupt the whole environment around you. So it is important to be nice. It's important to be easygoing, to be passionate. It's important to care. It's important to know why you're doing this. It's so sad when people come to work just for a check. It kills the creative process. It kills the collaborative process. It poisons the entire production. I'm sharing this because I've been on production sets where some people just don't care. And that's how we lose the creativity. And that's how the quality of the project just goes downhill. Because it starts with them not caring, starts with them engaging in conflict with others, and then the whole experience becomes sour. So I think you need to understand that when you're working in a collaborative environment, you really need to put your best foot forward every single day. There are going to be long nights. You're going to get tired. Hopefully you're not going to get hungry because there's always food on set. But still, if you feel like the food's not good enough, get your own food. Take care of yourself. Know that this is a marathon, it is not a race. Know that every second that you're on set, you have to bring your A game. And the way you do that is you prepare when you're not on set. Learn how to read. Learn how to become comfortable with literature. Work out. Get your stamina high. Make sure you don't get tired. Train yourself to go hours and hours and hours on working on whatever it is that's in front of you. Build that stamina. When the director wants take 1, 2, 3, take 15, take 16, you better be ready to bring your A game after every single take. It's a mindset. It's the attitude. And this is the sort of commitment that you need to make to yourself that you're going to bring on every movie set. Because like I mentioned, people are watching. People are taking notes. I've worked on short films before. I've brought folks along to a short film who I thought were talented actors, but they just had bad mannerisms on set. It wasn't fun working with them. So that was the last time I worked with them. But that's be on a smaller scale for short films. Imagine what that's gonna be on a bigger scale when we're talking hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on the line. So these are things I think it's important to take note of. Acting, nobody's gonna die. There's real people in the world dying right now. Acting is a craft. It's an art. It should be fun. It should be a release. Go in there with the best positive attitude that's possible, and you'll have the time of your life. It's a beautiful business. It's a beautiful occupation. I've been doing this for the past 15 years, and every day I wake up, that's all I think about. Everything that I work on, every business that I engage in, I do it to provide myself a foundation and an environment that will allow me to pursue acting, that will allow me to act, that will give me the freedom and flexibility to be able to travel to San Francisco or Dubai or Abu Dhabi or somewhere in the Midwest to shoot a film. It's such a wonderful occupation, and I really hope that I continue to do what I do right now to give myself that flexibility and that ability to go out there and create and tell these stories. So if you're considering the business of acting, I really hope you take this advice to heart, because it works. I've seen it work, and I strive to be better, and I strive to follow this advice that I'm giving you every single day. Once again, thank you for watching the Offset series. My name is Ahmed Mawas. See you soon.